Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF 44 coming at you in another video. All right. So I had a few things on my mind in regards to a therapy session, topics that don't necessarily pertain to myself. I've been doing a little more of that as of late, but I haven't started my morning yet, and I really want to get that started. So this video probably ain't gonna be as long as I would otherwise make it. But we're just gonna get on these topics real quick, and I'll go about the start of my day. But yeah, man. First of all, I want to send good energy to those who are mourning the loss of the candidate in, I believe it was Ecuador, who was assassinated 48 hours ago or something like that. That situation right there looked real bad to me. Obviously bad, but I mean, like, it looked fishy. It looked like an inside job based on the footage I saw. Now, I don't know nothing about nothing. Maybe it's, as I'm about to describe this, maybe you're like, well, that's what they were going to do anyway. But it seemed to me when I was watching the footage, he was coming out of wherever he was saying his speech, and then he was getting ready. They were ushering him into the vehicle, and as soon as he enters the vehicle, before the door even closes, the shots start ringing off from some direction, probably from far away. When this first shot was shot, whoever that was ushering him into the car closed the door behind him. Now, maybe he was already, he was in the motion of closing the door as the shots rang out. But if you're responsible for keeping that man safe, the last thing you want him is in some confined space as a target, as he's being used as a target. You want that person in wide open space. The first thing they should have been doing was trying to grab him out of that car, pull his body away from whoever it is that's shooting, because that's your responsibility. You're not thinking like me. When the shots run off, if you're his security, if you're good at what you do, you're thinking like a security guard who needs to be in the moment, reacting to try to save this man's life, even if it means putting your own in danger. The last thing you're doing is locking him into a metal confinement as he's being shot at. That told me that there's something to look at there. So that's what's on my mind right now. That particular footage I watched about 37 times, just like everything else they try to desensitize us with, you know what I mean? And when I studied that footage, I could say, okay, on one hand, they were getting ready to put him in the car anyway, so before they had time to react, the shots came off, and of course he closed the door. You know what I mean? That was what they were doing. They were ushering him into the vehicle. But it seemed to me that once some shots started ringing off, them security guards, they to me, it seemed like it wasn't about saving the man. It seemed like it was about making sure he was an easy target to hit, by locking him in that car. So I don't know. I just feel like that footage showed me that there's reason to be doubtful that this was just some outside forces that didn't have any inside help. It feels like they did based on what I saw. So that's the first thing that came to mind. And then something that has absolutely nothing at all to do with that at all. So let's just get our minds off of that and into an entirely different, completely different subject. In the music industry, we're talking about as well. This is related to what we were talking about yesterday. As they were saying, I was saying to you guys that I was listening to Joe Budden talk about the music industry and how they're having a hard time selling music right now. And so what came to me, I don't know if I have a solution for that. I did mention that I do work that blends music, and I think that what the future of music is having people or AI sort through music, because it's too hard to sort through. So that's kind of where I think the music industry is headed. But for the time being, while we're in this space, I think we're in a legacy act renaissance era. And what that means is, like a lot of the brands that we grew up watching, grew up appreciating, that were continued to be used over and over again. You think about McDonald's, you think about Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, think about all the different legacy brands, Nike, Adidas, Starbucks now, all these different, brands that you've known your whole life. Some of which you haven't known your whole life, but have become such important staples in your life that they might as well have been here the whole time. That is essentially what I think is happening in the music business. Is people are going to what they're familiar with because it's so hard to find good music. People are more likely to pay for concert tickets with acts that they grew up watching because they know they're going to get a good show. That's what I think is happening right now. I've got guys that have done it already. I don't know in every genre, but I think about guys like Wu-Tang, LL Cool J, Bone Thugs, and Harmony. I'm listening to acts from their generation or the generations past. Even guys that are a little further down the road, like 50 Cent, some of these other guys, they are doing great selling out shows because people know what they're going to get from them and they're familiar with them. Some of these new acts, some of the ones that make the better music, you have no idea who these people are. You don't know of the music you don't think even exists if you're an average fan. A lot of people don't even know good music does exist right now. And so that's the reality of it. All the best stuff is either hidden or oversaturated with garbage. So people are going to go to what it is they know, the tried and true, stuff that they've had emotional attachments to their entire lives. Songs that they've heard for years and have grown with those songs. That's what people are more than likely to spend their money on right now in the music industry. Not the new guys, and certainly not the machine garbage that they keep throwing in our face, the Ice Spice, all the Sexy Red, anything that's in the machine right now, it's hit or miss. They're rolling the dice and likely coming up with nothing. It just is what it is. This stuff is garbage. It's been garbage. But I think we've reached a space where there's too much else to do. There's too much other music found in other spaces where people are at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to necessarily turn on something unless I love it because I'm likely messing with my app and the app has a little jingle in it. Likely watching some content and it has some songs to it. Likely watch, you know what I mean? It gets to a point where it's like, I find myself singing people's theme songs. You know what I mean? I listen to podcasts and the theme song come on. The first thing I'm doing is singing the jingle. It's like music is found everywhere. So if the music industry can't find a way to sort through what isn't desirable and to find ways of giving us the acts that are organically talented and provide a good, unique or good sound or however it goes, if you keep giving us these same old formulas, we're going to keep on rejecting them going forward. People don't want to hear this crap no more. They don't want to see this crap no more. And they certainly don't want to be given something that isn't good. And I know I slowed that down like I was saying something profound, but that's really what it comes down to. People don't want no garbage. And so they're more than likely to go to their McDonald's brands when it comes to music, especially right now. So that's what I wanted to say. It is time for all these old acts who may be thinking that their careers are completely in the can. There's a bag for you right now. And you should be booking yourself into whatever venues you can pack because your fans, they're older now. And a lot of these fans are in a space where they have, some of them have recovered from the pandemic. I guess that's one way to look at it. And people now have a little bit more money in that generation to maybe go back and go to concerts again. And who are they going to go see? They're going to go see who they grew up watching. They're going to go see who they loved back in the day. And so guys like Red and Meth, it's time to go on tour again, man. I'm telling you, it's time for those type of guys. The Outcasts and all that, it's time for y'all to go on tour. It is time to see that 2023 is a space where people can't find good music, so they're going to what they know. And that's where you come in. So I just feel that way. I think that they're doing better than some of the new acts. They're doing better than some of the machine acts. And it's just because of familiarity. That's it. It's too hard to find good music right now, man. Ain't nobody trying to siphon through all this trash. Even a playlist curator like myself. I woke up this morning attempting to at least just add music to my app. You know, how I do. Make sure I have the music that I can basically pick from to make playlists. And I found myself dealing with the crap of the app this morning. And I just want to reiterate to everybody, all you artists out there, all you music artists out there, your fight right now is with those who give us the music. The apps, you got to make sure that those apps are free flowing. Whether Wi-Fi is connected to a person's phone or not, that's also very important because a lot of the people that are playing your music don't have Wi-Fi. And because they don't have Wi-Fi, they can use that to screw with your count. This is what I've come to terms with throughout my journey trying to use Apple Music's app without Wi-Fi. They can screw with every single time I play your music. They can make it so that your music doesn't play unless I re-download it if for some reason I deleted my downloads. And I need to delete my downloads to keep space on my phone for various things that I need at a given moment. I always am willing to re-download, but that's not the point. They force me to. And so these are things that mess with your account. These are things that make it so that your streams aren't being accounted for based on what it is that my desires in playing your music actually is. And you guys need to be aware of this. So this is why I make the therapy sessions I do. This is why I think the Lord gave me so many different interests, because I also have a mind that can say, yo, since I'm in these spaces, look at what I see here with this weird mind of mine. And I'm telling y'all, the music industry is being duped by the people they trust to sell the music to the public. They have their own interests, man. They don't care about breaking your artist. They don't care about breaking your song if you're an artist. They don't care. They have their own interests, and likely they're a bigger company than your music company. So they're going to keep their interests on the forefront without being concerned with pissing you off because you're the little guy. You need us to sell your music. So what you need, music industry, is to invest in your own musical apps and stop doing business with these Apples and these companies that want to screw with us to keep themselves above the fray, because they're not interested in making artists successful so they can continue to invest in good music. They're interested in making themselves successful so they can invest in whatever the hell they want to. And so that's why the music industry is dying, because they're killing it. And they're killing it by trying to kill the love of the music inside of people like myself, who are ultimately going to siphon through the bad music and get it to you. They stop screwing with me, I make better musical collaborations and collages for you. And you can make them for yourself if they stop screwing with you. So hopefully you don't have these problems. I know I got to update my phone, so for all I know, if I had a better phone, I'd probably have better service. If I just spend money on Wi-Fi, I'd probably not have as many Apple apps issues. But even those who do have those things are still complaining about that app. That app is not good. It's not good. It's not good on purpose, I believe. And so I just want people to understand how much I love blending music and how much they're killing that love. Yeah, I want people to know that. Because it's a big antagonist in my life. As somebody who really only loves to do a few things, but I love to do them very well. That's one of my favorite, if not my very favorite thing to do. And as I've complained about over 70 times on this camera, they make it unnecessarily difficult. And I think it's simply to screw everybody. The artists and people like myself as well. They are screwing us all. So that's what I want to say. Apple Music app. Y'all got to do better. Okay? You got to. If you want people like myself to continue to do what it is that we do and making the music industry better, which I believe if people knew who I was, they'd actually see that. And that's not just me being cocky. That's the talent I have and what it is, the hours I put in, the craft that I have. If they knew who I was, man, you would see a lot of people do what I do. And that would save the industry, because that's what you need. That's exactly what you need, as I keep telling people. Talented individuals who know how to blend music, who have good taste from every genre, because obviously I'm not doing every genre. You need somebody in every genre who can blend music. And I believe you need them to know what it is that I do. Because I am redefining what it means to blend music. I am. I say that with a lot of confidence. I am. Because a lot of times people just slap songs together with no rhyme or reason. Songs don't make no sense together, and that's just not what I do. I speak a certain language with the music, to the music, that allows me to blend the music with songs that are supposed to be next to it. It's my gift. It's what the Lord gave me. And I don't think he gave me that so that I could just have it and enjoy these playlists by myself. This is supposed to be something that is mimicked. What it is that I've done is something that should be mimicked by many. Save the damn music industry. I kid you not. I'm not one of those people that say, don't bite me. No, you need people to do what I do. It's not even about whether or not I take pride in what it is that I put together. I didn't create this. I'm not the first playlist curator, obviously, but I think I'm the best. I'm certain of that. So that's really what it comes down to. I want people to follow me on Apple Music at BDF 44. I did not spell out 44. I think I may change that, but since it's been the number 44 for like 4 years, there's a lot of people who already follow me who already know who I am, I guess, maybe changing the brand might not be the best way for them to find me if for some reason they need to or whatever. But yeah, we'll work on that. But for the time being, it's 44 with the numbers at Apple Music. And this, like I said, it's almost 700 playlists there. It would be a lot more if they stopped screwing with me. It would be a lot more. And for those who learn to love what it is that I do, just remember, I would have did more, a lot more. Loved it 20 times more than they allowed me to express it by jamming my phone and making that app especially difficult to use. And kept it that way for an extended period of time. Usually they come up with like updates every 3 weeks. This update has been there for about 6 weeks. And it's the worst one yet. And so that's what I want people to understand. There are very specific things you have to do to be able to fluidly make a playlist. If not, you're just going to be stuck there with a jam screen for hours at a time. They won't let you play your music. They won't, you know, I'm telling y'all, it's the worst experience I've had trying to express a passion that I've ever had in my life. Is dealing with this app just in the last year. Because before that, it wasn't as many problems. But when they found out they could really screw with us and the artists at the same time, they really started messing with that app. They really started bringing in people that specifically come up with creative ways of making it difficult for people to fluidly make playlists. So I don't know if I've articulated that enough, but I've been praying a lot about this. I want it to get better for me, selfishly, and for all of everybody who follows what it is that I do. I want this to get better so I can get back to making these playlists as quickly as my talent will allow. And so that's really what I got to say, man. That's what I got to say. The music industry is being robbed by the people they trust to funnel the music to the public. And so I hope the right people hear me so that they can hold them accountable and save the art form. So that's what I got to say. Yeah, that's it, man. That's the thought. I can get in the shower, do all the different things that I want to start doing my day. I want to get those two things out because they're both on my heart. You don't slam the door behind the dude who's being shot at. The last thing you need is him being in a stationary space where you can't get the hell out. You did not do what I think should have been done by professionals in that situation in the heat of the moment. If you're protecting a presidential candidate, then I hold you to a certain standard, period. And maybe you fall short of that standard, the human brain's going to do what it does. But at the end of the day, I can't see you slamming the door behind dude when it's like 80 shots being shot in the direction of that car. And it's your responsibility to get his body out of harm's way. Can't sell that one to me. So that's what I got to say about that. At any rate, rest in peace to him. Condolences to his family and his country. And the fight goes on for the war on corruption out there, man. At the end of the day, before I leave, I can say, if you're going to, and this goes for everybody, including myself, if you're going to go out of your way to piss off people who are known for doing things that are not positive, you can't take it lightly when you do damage to them, because they for sure are going to come back and protect themselves from the damage you're doing. Corruption is what it is in these countries, man. You know what I mean? They don't have a lot. They're dealing with superpowers all over the world, and they got to be scary. They got to be scary. And so they got to make money and they got to be scary. So they're going to do wild and crazy stuff. We've talked about this. Demonstrations that'll terrify everybody, make them look like the worst people in the world. And they're going to make sure they snuff out anybody who's talking against what it is that ultimately keeps them out of the gutter. You know what I'm saying? Whoever, if you talking what keeps them in the gutter, rather, they're going to get rid of you because they're going to save themselves. It's a lot of money being made, and it's a lot of people you can't see, but they, with their interest wrapped up in those things. Why? Because of secrets. Secrets to keep people in everybody else's pockets. You can't find out about my demons, so I'm going to keep quiet so you don't tell my demons to others. And it's just enough of that stuff. Enough of that stuff where people covering for their son. My son got a demon. I can't let the world know about it, so now I'm in somebody else's pocket because he know about what my son do. That type of stuff will keep that type of corruption to where people slam the door on you when they're supposed to be saving your life. You understand what I'm saying? That's what puts that type of stuff in motion. It's the evil deeds of people doing the dark and other people knowing about it more or less, and the greed and all these other different factors that ultimately lead people into being corruptible. If you're gonna move a certain way in a certain place, you had better be damn ready for what comes with that. A guy like him should have been in a bubble. He should have been and when I say a bubble, like the Pope, for the stuff he was talking and where he was at, for the people that was after him, he wasn't moving right. Everything should have been bulletproof. Everything should have been bulletproof. You should have had snipers in every direction. Look, like if you don't have a budget for that, then you're signing up for death, because they definitely coming after you. So it's like you just gotta. As they always say, if you're not ready if you ain't got your money right, don't be waging war. You ain't got your money right. And that's what it really showed me. That's what that showed me. He wasn't moving right. For all that he was popping, he left himself no defense to continue the conversation. And he was able to silence him because he didn't protect himself. That's what I saw. He didn't protect himself. I mean, he was protecting himself, but not for the level of what it is he was doing. Not for the level he was doing. Nah. He should have been in full body armor. He should have had armed people in every corner of him. And the last thing he should have been doing is getting into any type of vehicle that wasn't armored. No way. If you don't have the proper stuff to do what it is that you're doing, find another way. Find another way. So that's what I see there. I just saw a man who wasn't moving for it. It's almost like the world that he was in was not the world he thought he was in. It's like, though, they really will make an attempt on you for all of this stuff you're talking, for all this stuff you're trying to deteriorate in a country where if you don't have a solution for them to make up the difference in the dollars so they can keep everybody who's in their pocket happy and these various different things that come with just politics in general, if you can't find them solution, then they're going to have to put it into use so they can keep things going. So it's like, when I talk this way, I understand this. When I speak against certain things, I understand this. This just becomes a situation where you just got to understand how important you are. If you're only talking to 400 people versus to a whole country, you know what I mean? It's a different. You got to know who you're speaking to and what. So like I told you guys before, if I'm talking to 1 million people, I'm not going to be saying the same things I'm talking to you guys about. It's just not going to be possible because you have a different voice, a different direction. It goes too many different places, too many different things to consider. When I only have 400 people to consider, even though it's a choice 400 people of whom I don't know, it condenses it to such a way to where I feel like I can say certain things. Even if it's the wrong people listening in regards to that, it lessens the likelihood that I'm reaching too many to where they will feel like they need to move against me in such a way to silence me. No, it's going to be word of mouth with the things that I suggest. It's only 400 people listen. So, like, you just got to move a certain way for what it is you're doing. And if you're not, you got to expect to be shot. I'm not pulling no punches. We've seen it too many times. You know what I mean? And so this is yet another one of the situations in Ecuador. It just reminds me that if you're about the betterment of change, the ending of black market stuff, all kinds of stuff, you want to end the evil in the world, first of all, you're probably going to have to accept the fact that you're likely going to have to lose things that matter most to you, whether it be your life, your family, or something serious. Like, it's that type of thing that you're risking every time you open your mouth against anything that evil. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. And that's why a lot of people don't, and that's why this stuff keeps going. People are too afraid to do what it takes or lose what it takes to make permanent change in that regard, and the evil keeps going because of it. So that's just how it survives. All fear and sin. And that's how it works. So that's pretty much what I gotta say, man. It's time to get the day started. I wish there were more positive things to say, but this is a lot wrong. It's a lot wrong. And you would love to see a guy like him succeed in what it is he's trying to do in cleaning up the country. But you also want to see him be able to survive the night. You know what I'm saying? And so it has to be some balance in regards to people like him. You can't just be out there gung-ho. All the worst thing they can do is kill me. I read that was one of the quotes. Bro, that's what they did. Like, no, we don't want that. You want to be able to continue to survive so that you can see your mission through. If they kill you, they keep going. So that you got to protect against the silencing of your very own mouth. So that's what I got to say, man. Hopefully we're all learning from that. And yeah, man, it just is what it is. I don't know what comes of that in Ecuador. I don't know. But I will be praying for their country. And hopefully people see a better way, man, than allowing themselves to continue kicking the can down the road with stuff that's just going to ultimately reflect poorly upon their names and upon their people. At the end of the day, whether you see yourself as a bully, succeeding or a bully failing. A bully just ends up finding himself in a situation, as we mentioned yesterday, where the people who are afraid of him ultimately become the biggest weapon against him. And so I don't know if people will see that as it applying to something like this, but I'm telling you, people are crying out for change in a positive light. They want their babies to be able to survive the night, and you keep killing everybody that speaks up for the betterment of that. Eventually the wall's gonna close in on you too. This is true. This is how it goes, man. This is how it goes. There's a lot of people out here move around like I say, like God doesn't exist, like karma isn't real, but it doesn't mean that he isn't sitting in the corner mad at you, and it doesn't mean that karma isn't coming full speed ahead. I don't know of the ills in this world, how big it goes, and how much evil can control. Because when you see what's going on in the stock market, you can clearly see that evil has a lot of reach in this world. But I also understand that the Lord, the greater good, controls the elements, and he's creating more people every day that can do amazing things. So while people think they're getting away with everything, what you don't know is the person that's likely going to be able to crack your code, so to speak, is probably about 3 years old, and it's coming. So it's like, these are the type of things we don't think about. These are the type of things that people are moving forward, pushing forward, and they think that they're the gods, or they think that they in control of everything. They think they have it all under control, and they don't realize they can be starved out. Everybody can be starved out. And so that's what I understand about corruption. When you have politicians getting shot up in cars and stuff like that, you just understand that if the powers that be want what it is that he's talking about to end, they will cut off all of the various things that the group that's doing the evil needs. They just cut it off. And it'll be hard for those people to move around without being caught. And eventually they'll be scurrying about trying to find what it is they need. And that's when you can rope them up and get them when they're vulnerable. Everybody can be caught this way. Everybody. It's just a matter of what is in the best interest of the powers that be. What Jenga piece can't be moved for everything to continue to stand. That's what I believe. And obviously I speculate. But that's what I think. I think that the world and the evils in it are more or less managed, if not controlled, by entities up high, very high, who ultimately can just push a button and cut off certain resources that would otherwise be needed. So that's what I know this. I know that. You don't want them boys to do that. Mess with their water. Yeah, like honestly, let's just be real. They really want to clean up space. You start messing with people's water. It's like you did in Flint. Do the same thing to anybody, including those who have a lot of money that can mess with your water. I'm telling you, I just feel it in my soul. If they really want to put it into something, whoever they are, if they really want to put it into something, it ain't gonna last past 6 months. Whatever it is, it ain't lasting past 6 months. That's why I'll be sitting here just in my apartment with all these different thoughts and beliefs in my head. I stay in this house because I know that there are a lot of things out there that people are going after, chasing after, trying to hurry up, get to, and it's you're running into a brick wall. You're swinging, and the only thing you're really doing is accomplishing what it is that they ultimately want you to do to keep their 100-year plans going, 200-year plans going. Whatever year this is in that plan doesn't, you're not a factor. And so because I know we're the discarded generation, we're supposed to spend our lives distracted, spend our lives more or less angry, confused, and at odds with one another about stuff that we can't confirm most of the time, or stuff that we think may be in someone's heart that we don't know is there. I just understand that I'm not of it. I'm in it, but I'm not of it. I wasn't put on this earth to think that way, feel that way, or even move that way. And so that's why I do what I do and say the things that I say. And I know that God has a purpose for all of this stuff that comes out of my mouth. And whatever happens to me, the damage is done because he's allowed for me to say these things. So that's really what it is, man. I hope people are taking from it what they should. Understand that I don't believe myself to be some deity, no special nothing. Don't worship me or anything that I got going on. That is absolutely not it. I report to something greater than myself, and I only hope that I'm making him happy when I speak from the heart. So that's what this is, man. Fix the music industry. God bless Ecuador and all of South America. BDF 44. I thank you all for watching.